Welcome back on the Sunrise Newsfeed this morning. A zero-tolerance approach to student behaviour is seeing school suspensions rise across the country. In New South Wales, more than 42,000 students were suspended last year. Violence, bullying and cyberbullying were among the biggest reasons.
Let's bring in commentator Angela Mollard and Triple M's Kat Lynch. Good morning to you both. All right, Kat here. The new anti-bullying framework's being rolled out around the country. The government's defending tougher disciplinary action here. Is suspension actually the answer, though, or are we just creating more problems by suspending these kids?
I don't think it is the answer. Like, I know there's a lot of school programs at the moment. A good friend of ours runs one, Gus Wallen, does a Gotcha for Life program, and they go into primary schools and high schools, and you often find out the root of the problem of why the bullying has started. Because a lot of kids, you know, you're like, why is this person picking on me? What's happening? And they're more understanding when you find out the root of the problem. It might be something at home or something they're battling themselves, and those programs, I feel like, really gets them talking, which is what a lot of kids in that situation don't really want to do or don't know how to.
It's always a attention-grabbing headline, isn't it? When we say, you know, we need to expel all the kids that are doing the wrong thing. The problem is, what do you do with them? They are still going to be part of society, and it can be really difficult for people whose kids are the bullies as well as being bullied.
Absolutely, and I think Kat's right. It has to be a whole school cultural approach that involves boundaries but also support. Now, I've been covering education and parenting for News Corp for the last year, and the behavioural issues and the stats on it are illuminating and very saddening. But what I like is in the UK in 2015, they appointed a behavioural czar. Now, this person, Tom Bennett, he oversees the entire country in terms of a behaviour curriculum. So they actually have a curriculum at school for manifesting good behaviour. It, of course, starts from the top, leadership down. It becomes a cultural thing. The problem with suspending kids consistently is that when they're out of the classroom, they find it much, much harder to integrate again. They're almost ostracised because other kids don't want to attach them. So that becomes a perpetuating cycle for them. You need to include them, and also I think bringing the parents in, so there's more evenings where basic conversational, relational behaviours with parents
so
is
how do
so
schools
important.
then grapple with that punishment then, to give that adequate punishment when it's needed?
Look, I do think that is part of it, but they need to be short, like 3 to 4 day suspensions, and then working, you know, like a juvenile detention system. You are hoping to restore practices that are better, because of course these kids, when they leave school, they go back into they go into the community. So we want to catch them and help them.
Yeah,
you know, they don't all come from the same background.
Better to put them, rather than send them home for a few days, to put them into programs for those days, so that actually we're getting something out of it. And I know if my child was being bullied by someone, I want that child to not be around them. So it's a vexed issue, but
and that's
it's not
the UK.
simple.
They do have these interventionists, like these little classrooms for 3 or 4 days where the child goes out of their classroom and goes into but they're not going home, where of course you don't learn anything.
Yeah.